I first saw Baby Driver probably about a year after it came out, which would have been in 2018, and I was just mesmerized by the entire movie. The second I saw Baby drifting his car around corners to escape the cops, I was locked in and couldn't take my eyes off of the screen. I've watched Baby Driver several more times since then, but at this point it's probably been about 3 years since I saw it last, so I decided it's time I finally go back and watch the movie that I called my favorite for years. The movie immediately starts with Baby behind the wheel of a car as he and his crew pull up to a bank they're about to rob. This is what pulled me in as a viewer, not only the first time, but every rewatch since. They waste no time getting into the action, but also within these first minutes they showcase the other main aspect of the movie, the music. I'm going to talk about how much I love the action later because I feel the only way to start talking about Baby Driver is to talk about what really set it apart from other movies in this genre. All other crime and romance movies have music, but Baby Driver uses music as a way to tell a story, not just to fill the background. On many occasions, we see Baby interacting directly with the music he's listening to, often moving or dancing according to the rhythm or lyrics in the songs. This brings up an important part, which is that Baby is actually listening to the music we hear. This goes back to the music as a way to tell a story I mentioned before, as the music we hear is largely based on Baby's mood. Almost everything we hear in terms of music is either coming from a car radio, a phone, or more often than not, an iPod. They make a point to show Baby choosing the song he wants to listen to, which leads us to feeling more connected to the character and also more involved in what's happening. This, in a way, is giving us a glimpse into his thoughts without actually having to leave the scene we're currently in, and I think this is expertly used to make the viewer feel more engaged and progress the story without taking us out of the action. Like I said, the music largely changes based on Baby's mood. This is most evident when he meets Deborah because he often listens to songs about love when he's thinking about her. You'll also notice that when Baby drives, he usually listens to songs with intense drums and guitar to keep himself hyped up. This is basically a less subtle version of what all film scores do. They use the music to make you feel the way the scenes are intended to feel. Personally, I love the music in the movie and I think it really brings every aspect together, especially the action sequences. By action sequences, I'm pretty much referring to the driving scenes, although there are other types of action in this. The driving scenes are so fun and perfectly designed to be as cool as possible without going overboard or dragging on too long. In most racing style movies, you'll see cars flying through the air with explosions behind them, and I'm not a big fan of these really over the top effects. In Baby Driver, everything that happens seems possible. Whether it actually is or not doesn't matter because it looks like it could happen. One of my favorites being when Baby sideswipes the police bike strip to avoid popping his tires. Although everyone loves a good chase scene, I think one of the most important parts is to make sure they don't last too long. Watching a car drive back and forth across the screen is only going to be entertaining for a little while, and they made sure these scenes didn't overstay their welcome. I think the main reason these scenes being short is so important is because they don't usually progress the story much and can lead to poor pacing throughout the movie. Baby Driver's story is fantastic and doesn't really struggle with pacing issues at all. Each section consists of some personal development for Baby, a job or heist, and then some plot development. It never feels like you're going too long without any of these parts and feels very balanced. You can see the clear distinction between the sections because the personal development for Baby tends to relate to Deborah, while the plot development is often about his relationship with the criminals. What's so interesting about the way the story is developed is that a lot of progression happens without a ton of dialogue. Baby is a quiet character and therefore lets most of his story be told by music and his actions. This is really strange as most movies have a main character that does the majority of the talking and basically explains everything they're thinking, but with Baby you have to pay attention to his facial expressions and music choices to understand what he's thinking. This is one of the movie's biggest accomplishments. They managed to develop a main character and side characters without long-winded explanations. These side characters have almost no depth but somehow seem complex enough to be compelling just through their interactions with the main character alone. Once the movie came to a close, I was once again more than satisfied with everything it had to offer and reminded me of why I loved it so much for so many years. I think Baby Driver is a fantastic movie and deserves the high rating it's been given on most review sites, but what do you think? Did you like the movie right away or did it take you a while to really enjoy it if you ever did? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date with my videos. I'll see you next time.